to community updates right here at WJZZ Cool TV. And tonight we have some awesome guests. I've got my co-host Marshall, who's with you. Thank you so much for being here, Marshall.
My pleasure.
And we have Shakina
Wardlaw.
Wardlaw, and she's going to be sharing some things with us about her youth program called Attitude Adjustment, and telling us some things about her book. But as you know, when you tune in here to WJZZ Community Updates, we want you to bring your paper and your pencil, because we're going to give you some awesome information about various things happening in the community, both here and around the country. So first, I'm going to share with you a couple of some job information and home buyer information that I became aware of. So there's a first time home buyers club meeting that's taking place this week. You can look on my Facebook page, Michelle Turner White, and see a lot of this information. I posted it all today, but there's a first time home buyers seminar. um, Matrix Human Services is doing this seminar. It's going to be every fourth Saturday and every fourth Tuesday. The Saturday will be in the morning from 9 to 12:30, and the Tuesday is from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It's great information on how to get a home if you're a first time home buyer. There are a lot of people that even are veterans and don't realize that they have benefits being a veteran, to get a um, home. And then it really helps. I know several people who have used this program, and it has really helped them purchase a home. So you can go to matrixhumanservices.org/events to register for this. And it's a first time home buyers program. And then there's some tax incentives, an educational program on June the 30th. And these things are with the city of Detroit. The city of Detroit has stepped up their game with computer technology and social media and so forth. So if you log into their website, and they'll send you all types of information that is helpful to the community. So there's a tax incentive seminar that will take place at the Farwell Recreation Center on June the 30th at 6 p.m. June the 30th, 6 p.m., tax incentives. It's an educational information on taxes and how to have more of your money coming into your home and less going to the government. And so that's always a good thing. They get enough of our money. So we want to keep it to a minimum. And then also I went into here's something else. There's some job information. The city of Southfield sent me, or the state of Michigan is hiring. The state of Michigan is hiring. You can go to their website. DTE Energy is hiring. You can go to their website. Ford Motor Company is hiring. You probably heard how Governor Gretchen Whitmer, which got a couple of $1 billion, and it's going towards the city. And some of that is with the automotive companies.
Oh, wow.
And some of that money is with these jobs here that I'm mentioning. Consumers Energy is hiring. These are each good companies.
Yes,
they are.
With good benefits.
yes.
Good health plans. So Consumers Energy, Ford Motor Company, and they're all paying anywhere from $17 an hour to $100,000 a year. 36 District Court is hiring. Average salary $33 to $83 an hour. So that's 36 District Court, Consumers Energy, Ford Motor Company, DTE Energy, and the state of Michigan. And I found all that on the state of Michigan. I sign up for their website and they send this information to me. And then one other thing, I was in a restaurant called the Saucy Crab that is in Southfield. And they've got all these different crab eateries that are around now. But this one is Black owned.
Oh,
Can we say Black owned?
yes.
Black owned.
Yes.
Now we're here to support everybody. I'm not discriminatory. However, if I can support Black owned business, I love that first and foremost.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's first, but it is up there. So Saucy Crab, it says Saucy Crab was sold. They're located at West 11 Mile at 21754 West 11 Mile. There's a little shopping mall there. and it doesn't have the name of the shopping mall on their flyer, but right at 11 Mile and Losser, there's a little shopping mall where there's a Family Dollar and some other things, and they're inside the inside. You won't see them from the outside. You have to go inside the little mall, and they're right there when you open the door. And their food was delicious.
Wow.
And they have the crabs. Their um, uh, seafood gumbo off the chain.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna have to have a party and buy some of that and put it in a terrain like I made y'all. I won't say I made it, but
if they don't ask, don't tell.
Right, exactly. But saucy crab with soul. So let's go over and support them on Wednesdays. They have a $7 menu for $7, and all of their prices were reasonable. Some of these saucy crab places you're gonna spend $100. Right, the saucy crab, and the food was excellent. So check them out over on 11 Mile and Losser in Southfield. And Marshall, you said you have some things to share with our community listeners this evening.
Well, I wanted to share one thing, and it is about the Detroit Writing Room. And this is for writers or anyone that's interested in becoming a writer, or they have seminars, book talks. You can share your book information, workshops. Well, they are actually closing their downtown location, but they are going virtual. So that's very important for people in the city of Detroit if they're interested in becoming writers or still wanting to know how to keep the connection with the Detroit Writing Club.
Okay. Well, there are a lot of people that are out here that are aspiring writers. I'm one of them. And then you have a book out as well.
I do.
And so can you give that the information how they get connected with that one more time?
Well, the Detroit Writing Room, it is DetroitWritingRoom.com.
DetroitWritingRoom.com. So let's write that down, all of you aspiring writers, poets.
Yes.
There's software out there that you can speak into the software what you want to say, and it will type it for you. So there's all kind of ways to be creative to get the job done, and I'm speaking to myself first.
Yes. Sound like me.
And then one other thing, the city of Detroit is being redone and modernized. And I won't even, that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
Now that nonetheless, jump into it. Utilize the services, utilize the businesses and so forth. But there's going to be a meeting about what's going to happen along I94 and the bridge. And that's MDOT is hosting this meeting on Thursday, June the 16th. So that's tomorrow from 11:30 to 1. That's Thursday the 16th. And you can find them. They have a Zoom, but you can call the number 877-853-5247. I'll repeat it, 877-853-5247. This is for a meeting about the whole development and modernization project that's happening along I-94 and the 2nd Avenue Bridge. And they'll also be meeting on Thursday, so both in the morning from 11:30 to 1, and then in the evening, same number if you want to call to get more details. In the I have posted this on my Facebook page, which is Michelle Turner White. They'll also be meeting on Thursday the 16th in the evening for those who can't do the daytime from 6 to 7:30 p.m. 6 to 7:30 p.m. So a lot of times we miss out on things that are happening because we aren't paying attention. And we don't get involved and connected with the organizations that are doing some things, and we feel left out. Well, you've got to jump in and get in where you fit in, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to mess up your name.
Shakenya.
Yes. I wrote it out the way. Shakenya Wardlaw, we are so happy to have you this evening. And I thank my friend Gwen who introduced us and put you, and you were able to come this evening. And so we both were looking at your wonderful video that you have about the attitude adjustment project.
Okay, on Fox 2?
On Fox 2. You were on Fox 2 News, and that gave some great information. But before we get into that, let me do a station identification. You are listening to us here on WJZZ Cool TV. You can catch us. You're either watching us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube. And the phone number, if you want to call in, if you have any questions, is 313 8. What does that say? 313 355 6018. I'll repeat it. 313 355 6018. So again, we've got Shakina. I didn't say it.
You said
Sakina.
it right.
I said it right?
You did.
Shakina. And
Yeah.
she's going to tell us, just today,
Mhm.
a parent was telling me that their 15-year-old came to them and said, "You don't know nothing.
Ooh.
You just dumb."
Ooh.
And but all teenagers, when you get a teenager, you start to think your parents don't know nothing. Now,
Right.
should the child have said that
Right. I
out
was about
loud
to say, yeah, no, I shouldn't have expressed
and
it
said he
though,
had to go for a walk?
Ooh.
What you got to go for a walk for? You ain't paying no bills.
Where you going?
Exactly.
You living good.
Yeah.
I remember one time when my little son was little, and he was maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8,
Mhm.
and he was hearing on the news about parents going to jail for
Mhm.
hitting their children.
Mm.
I said, call him if you want to.
Right.
I will
right.
beat you, whoop you. I didn't beat him.
Right.
He really didn't even get that many because I talked to him more.
Yeah.
I said, I would whoop you in front of the police. How
Right.
about that?
Right.
And so one day he was going to run away. And I hope he's listening. And he ran out. He was outside. I said, bye. You got a better plan. See
Right.
you. Wouldn't want to be you.
That's right.
And so he was outside. I could see him the whole time.
Mhm.
And the brother came in for dinner.
Mhm.
Got
Didn't take
hungry.
long.
Yeah,
Didn't
got
take
hungry.
long
Got
at all.
hungry.
Oh my goodness. But we have to remember that when we're children, I can remember thinking
Yeah.
that my parents, they just don't, when you get a certain age, you start thinking, they don't know anything.
Yeah.
They old, you old as Methuselah. Weren't you around when
Mhm.
Jesus was around? And you
Mhm.
don't know anything. It's different now. That's not how it was back in your day, in the slavery days.
Right.
That's how,
That's their mind frame.
and
too.
that's their
what they
mind
think.
frame.
Yeah.
So tell us how you help the children and the youth, and you go into our schools and different programs and help
Mhm.
youth to have more of a better attitude adjustment.
Well, our focus is we deal with children with behavior issues. I started this program about 17 years ago. I was having problems with my little brother, and in looking for prevention programs, because he was acting out, he was doing things that would probably land him in jail if he
Right.
continued stealing, fighting in school every day. It was just too much going on. So as I looked around for prevention programs, I realized there weren't many. So
Right.
there weren't a lot of resources offered to me for help for him. The only thing that was offered was like a residential type setting, terminate my rights, because I got custody of my little brother when my mom passed. So I raised him. He was like
Okay.
5, but once he hit around 12, it was just the behavior was out of control. Both of them were born. My little brothers were both born with drug addiction. They were addicted. My mom was using when she had them.
Okay.
So the youngest one, as he got older, the behavior became a big problem. Big problem. So like I said, the only thing that was offered was a residential type setting where he was removed from our home. I'm like, there is nothing out here to where we can love on him and still be here for him. And y'all put a little fear in his heart or something. I went to the police station. It was just nothing. So everything that I tried with him, I kind of put it together in a program, and I call it attitude adjustment. So we do work with CPS. We work with the juvenile court system. We work with DPS, and the main premise is kind of showing children the way or where they can end up if they continue to act out how they act. And before COVID, we were doing jail tours. I used Ryan Correctional Facility for the boys, and I used Huron Valley for the girls. So since COVID, we're actually holding the meetings at my office on Grand River, 15400 Grand River, that is on the second floor.
Okay.
We have the meetings there. But yeah, it's targeted towards children with behavior issues. The first step is the family meeting. And that's the most important and the most impactful. The parents bring the children thinking that the jail tour is going to be it. We're going to scare them, blah, blah, blah. But no, that's not it. It's the family meeting, because you take a child to a jail tour and take them back in the same environment, you really didn't do anything.
Right.
But the family meeting, we really talk about what's going on in the households, what's going on with the family. And to be honest, majority of the families that I assist are single parent households, unfortunately. I've never serviced a child that was being raised by both parents, biological parents. I've had them call and probably ask questions, and we were able to research and go back and find out what happened. And, I give them some resources, but I have not had to service a child yet, so I think it's something to that.
Yes, it
With the
is.
parents having these children and staying together. But yeah, I just couldn't find any programs for my little brother, so I developed my own, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I will definitely say there is something to it when two parent household,
Mm-hmm.
because God didn't intend it for one person to
Mm-hmm.
make. He
Exactly.
used two people to make the child. He intended for two people
To raise
to
it.
raise the child,
Yes.
Right.
because
Yes.
there's things that we learn from both the father and the mother,
That's right. That's right.
and there's things that we learn whether they're absent
Yes.
or present.
That's right.
And hopefully, when they're present, they got sense enough to act right. And all
Yes.
parents don't.
That's right.
That's
right.
reality.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. Part of the program in the morning, y'all need to catch me on YouTube. I have a
Okay.
YouTube channel,
Okay.
Kenya,
Okay.
and I do a thing in the morning called Coffee and Conversation, and it's really built around some of the issues that come into the office with attitude adjustment, and all about co-parenting. Ways of working together now that the relationship has ended. I get a lot of people that come in the office that use the children as pawns against the other parent. When it's time to get the meeting going, they can't find the other parent. How you can't find the other parent? This child's mom or this child's father? Because I encourage both parents to attend the meeting. I want to hear both sides of the story and find out what's really going on with this child. But every morning I do a little 15-minute clip just talking about co-parenting issues, ways to better parent, different techniques you can use for this and that. So yeah, y'all follow me on
So
YouTube.
we will follow you definitely on YouTube, and it's called Coffee and Conversations
Yes.
in the morning. What time in the morning?
There's no designated time as of yet, but if you
Okay.
go to the channel, you will see all the videos. I've been doing it for about 2 years now, so
Okay.
it's a lot of videos, but mainly in the morning. When you get your coffee.
Okay. What is the no time? 9
No
o'clock,
time. About
8,
9-ish.
6 o'clock.
Look,
Okay.
9, 10-ish.
Okay. I got you. That's
Mm.
wonderful. So, there's a program when my son was little, we did a Scared Straight movie
Ooh.
with Walmart. Idea. Time to do a new one.
Yeah.
He's 36 years old now, or
Oh,
something
wow.
like that. I don't keep up with his age
Right.
anymore. But and so we went and took the kids into, well, we did a film,
Okay.
but through Boys and Girls Club. The Boys and Girls
Right.
Clubs are good. No, we did this
Yes.
through uh the Oakland County one. It's like a Boys and Girls Club, but it's
Okay.
a youth program.
Okay.
And so we would take them into the prison to
Mhm.
scare them straight.
Mhm.
And then we did this film called Got Caught, Now What? And it was designed to teach the children that you don't always, if you get kids get caught up in peer pressure
Mhm.
in school,
Mhm.
trying to keep up with the students.
Right.
We already see that a lot of our youth have some real like mental challenges.
They do.
I
They
just
do.
saw a little boy that had to be 4 stating how he wants to kill people.
Oh.
Matter of fact, he said he wants to kill everyone,
Oh.
but his parents, the person who was interviewing him, and his teacher.
Mm.
He was about 4, and he
Mhm.
got this from the things he's watching on television and the games that he's playing on the video
and cell phones.
and the cell
They
phone.
get the babies a cell phone so they can talk.
Yes. And so we really have to really be careful. That's such a serious, and we see
Mhm.
on the news these children that are killing 18, 17, getting guns, killing.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What happened to playing ball?
Right.
Right.
What happened to hopscotch and
Mhm.
and touch football? They're not outside.
They're
No,
not.
they're not.
I spoke to 2 youth this week, and I said, do you play with your neighbors? They don't know the neighbor children.
Yeah, that's sad.
That's sad.
Mhm.
I knew everybody in the neighborhood for
Mhm.
blocks
Right.
because we played outside,
Yes.
and you had people to interact with, and even if you were going to have a fight, you had a fight and you kept it moving.
That's right. That's right.
You know, but these days they're keeping things bottled up inside.
Mhm.
They're more alone. There's something to us being connected and
Mhm.
playing and
Mhm.
fellowshipping and
Right.
talking to one another
Yeah.
that is important for our mental stability.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yes.
That's true.
We weren't
Yes.
made to live on an island and be by ourselves and have
Yes.
nobody to talk to.
Right.
Yes.
So and that goes for adults.
Mhm.
And with people, especially with this pandemic, people are becoming recluse.
Yes.
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 Some by choice and because of fear.
Mhm.
But so we need to do so. you said you were taking the kids to the correctional facilities too.
Mm-hmm.
I volunteer in Huron Valley,
Do you?
and I used to do Mound Road Correctional Facility, which is
Okay.
around the corner from Ryan.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then they made that into a halfway house type thing, and so now I do Macomb County Correctional Facility.
Do
And
you?
yeah, so I just got the email 2 days ago, Monday,
Okay.
that now we can go back into the prisons because of the pandemic.
Yep,
No one
yep.
was going into the pandemic. I mean, into the prisons because that close environment.
Right.
And even myself, I said, Lord, is it time for me to go back into the prisons?
Yeah,
Because it is a close environment.
it is.
And we had a young guest on here, Big 50.
Oh yeah, Big 50
We had
on
Big
here.
50
Oh,
on here.
wow.
And she was telling us that all that cleanup that we see when we go in, that the place is filthy. They have, I said, well, everybody's always cleaning up and everything looks nice and clean.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking the water because for the first few years, I've been doing that about 20 years.
Okay.
First few years, I didn't drink the water.
Okay.
Then I said, well, everything looks clean. You know,
Yeah.
I can drink it. She said that stuff is filthy, dirty.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm like, okay,
yeah, it's
Lord,
clean when I come in there.
right. She
Yeah.
said, no, that's off because they know you volunteers are coming in. So, you know, but I don't walk in fear.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you do have to exercise wisdom.
Right.
So again,
right.
I'm like, okay, Lord, is it time for me to go back into the prisons? So tell us some more about what you do physically with the youth and what are some of your outcomes, some success stories that you've had with working with the youth.
Well, you see on the news, I actually brought a family in that came through the program, and he was one of our success stories, Darren, and he actually received a certificate. We do something every year. We give the children that's come through the program and done well because, unfortunately, I do have some when I do the follow-up that's not doing so well. In 90 days, when I do my follow-up, if they're not and they're still acting out after the family meeting and everything, I usually refer the parents to programs that are a little more aggressive. If they're 16 and up, there's a wonderful program in Battle Creek, Michigan called the Michigan Youth Challenge. I refer them there. And then if they're younger than
that's in Battle Creek,
Michigan. And
so how would they go there? They're able, do they have to have money?
They live there and it's a free program.
It's a free program. Can we say free?
Yes,
I love free.
Free.
Battle Creek, what's it called?
Michigan Youth Challenge.
Okay.
The only thing about that is, though, the children have to voluntarily go. So it's no force type situation, but they do live there. It's a military type style,
that
discipline. Yeah, it's a really good program, though.
In a military program.
Oh my God.
That's so true. That would have worked for me.
Oh my God, and I'm looking at you now. You're so refined and sophisticated and classy. Like I would never have known.
I was taught well.
Okay.
And so I knew how to act in public.
Okay.
I just didn't always act that same way at home.
Gotcha.
See, I can tell on myself today.
Right. So yeah, the 90-day follow-up is very, very important. If they're still acting out, I give them programs, but we try to reward them. We try to have field trips. And now since we're just getting started, it's kind of slow. We just did our first workshop a couple weeks ago. So the one for this month is on the 25th. And if you guys, if anybody have any children that they want to bring it to the program, I can be reached at 313-586-2240. All you gotta do is call
2240. So give us that number again.
313-586-2240. And I'm located at 15400 Grand River on the second floor, but it's best to call, set up an appointment. You come in, we do the registration process. We have an intake, meaning that we talk about what's going on, because I can't service everybody. You know, some children I'm not even qualified to service. They might just need therapy or some type of other intervention, but we talk about what's going on. But when the children come to the program, I mean, just to see them, I wish we can get back into the jail. I can just say that, because you see them when they come in, they got their head down, they mad.
They're opening it back up.
Well, here around Valley, yeah, but for the boys, they don't have anything now because it was at Ryan.
Oh,
Ryan
but
is
you know
closed completely.
what's the other two youth prisons? They're not prisons.
Yeah, baby jail.
Yeah, baby jail. No, the ones that are in Highland Park.
Oh,
right there for Glendale. There's two of them.
I'm gonna have to do some research. I don't know.
Oh, and I used to work in there too, and go in and teach Bible study and stuff. But they're
Michelle,
baby
jails.
You're
gonna have to have a sidebar after the show.
Yes,
it's a bundle of resources and information.
But it's a baby jail. They're locked up.
Oh my goodness.
But they're trying to catch, for the early offenses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you want to catch them before they go to
Yeah.
prison,
Mhm.
real
Mhm.
prison. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, you don't want to go to prison. That's not a place to
It's
go.
not. It's not.
And some people, I think some of these kids think it's cool. It's not cool.
Mhm.
It's one thing when you're going to visit and they're
Mhm.
locking those doors behind you
Yes.
and you can come out.
Yes.
But
Yes.
having all those doors locked hard
Yes.
behind you, two,
Yes.
3, 4, 5 doors every day, all day, and
Mhm.
listening to the prisoners talking to them.
Mhm.
Because again, I've been doing that for about 20 years.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
It's
No,
not.
it's not.
And that's why I hate that it's not open now and I can't utilize that. Even though the meeting that we had last month, it was successful. I think we reached the children that did attend,
Oh,
but
wonderful.
it's not the same as if they were in the jail because they'll take you through the whole process. You got to wait. You sit in the lobby. You go through the metal detector. You got to take your shoes off. They go through everything. They frisk you. They send you through the metal detector. Then you sit in there. Then the prisoners are actually in there with them. So, I mean, but
The
even
prisoners
now,
are talking
they're
to them,
talking to
telling
them.
them
And they're giving
some
them
of
the
the
real.
stories, the real
Yes.
stories.
Not what your
Good.
homeboys tell you when you're in the
And not what's
neighborhood
on TV.
and not what's on TV. They tell you what's really going on, and
Yes.
they're very graphic about
Okay.
the things that happen there. So it's very impactful. But even last month with them coming to the office, the gentleman that did speak with them, I think they reached them, and just seeing the children when they first come in, how they're slumped over and they head down, they're mad, they don't want to be there. It's early in the morning. So the whole thing, and then to see them after standing straight up, feeling like a load has been lifted, because they're able to talk when they're there and they're able to talk with the gentleman. So it was still impactful, but just the
That's
callbacks that
wonderful.
I get from the parents, the invitations that I get to the graduations, the thank you, the tags on Facebook, thank you. Now since they came through your program, now they're doing this, they're doing that. So I mean that right there is what I'm in it for. When I
Yes.
get that type of
See the
response.
outcome
Yes.
that has changed and impacted
Yes.
someone's life.
Yes.
It's also important, I believe, to speak positively to your children.
Yes.
Tell them who they are, not what they think they are.
Yes.
You're a mighty man of God. You're handsome. You can do all things. You're a conqueror. Whatever positive things that you can get them to start speaking, looking in the mirror at themselves and speaking that to themselves, not just thinking it.
Right.
It's important for us to speak things out
Yes.
and
Right.
put it in the universe, and we get it back.
Yes.
And if you put out bad things, you're going to get negative things back, bad stuff. You put out good stuff, you're going to get good stuff. And I'm not just a firm believer in that. I've seen it happen
Yes.
in my life and many people's lives. But so what are some of, and let me say again, if you have any questions, parents that are listening, please feel free. We're listening. You're tuned in right now to community updates right here on WJZZ Cool TV. You can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can give us a call if you're listening. If you're a parent or a grandparent and you have some questions, 313-355-6018. This will be replayed as well. 355-6018, area code 313. What are some things that we have grandparents that are raising their children now, an awesome testimony. So you were a child, your mother was addicted, and you were raised your two siblings.
I did.
Wow. And look at you, all the wonderful things that you're doing now to give back. We all have something to give back to the community.
Yeah.
And but look, you're a success story.
Yes.
That could have turned out differently for you as well.
Right.
But it's what you put your mind to do. What I were you speaking positively to yourself to keep yourself encouraged? Exactly.
Self-talk every day,
Exact self-talk.
it's hard. Even now, just trying to do the program is still hard because just taking on, it's like I take on everybody's issues, all the parents that I talk to, the things that they're going through, and then I try to put myself in their shoes, and it's hard raising kids nowadays. Technology and just like you say, the peer pressure is twice as bad. I think
as when we were younger.
It's the same. I can relate to them. I put them in situations so they'll know we were kids once too, but it is very different. I'm not gonna lie about that. And I think the cell phones. I got a big thing about children having cell phones. People get on me all the time, and Miss Warlight, you old fashioned. It's not that. It's just the cell phones. That's the gateway to everything to me. And people get these babies these cell phones
at 4.
4 and
Three.
5. 3, yes.
5.
Them babies need you to talk to them. Ain't no
Right.
getting on the phone and get on the computer. Talk to that
But the
baby.
peer pressure is because all the parents are doing it.
Mhm.
I
That
didn't.
most
Me
of
either.
them are doing it for this day and age.
Yeah.
My grandchildren, my grandson taught me how to talk text when he was 3.
Oh my God.
He showed me how to talk
And
text.
I believe you too. I don't seen a 3-year-old
When he
do a
was
TikTok.
9, I was in my car and I'm trying to do something on the monitor in the car.
Mhm.
He said, Granny, why are you doing it like that? All you have to do is da, 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 da,
Yep.
da.
Yeah.
And I said, how do you know how to do that? You don't drive. He said, it's a computer.
Mhm.
They know how to operate these computers.
Right.
Um, but I agree with you. You still have to monitor and
Mhm.
put blocks on things.
Mhm.
Don't
Parental
let them get to
guidelines or
YouTube
something.
too quick.
Mhm.
Monitor what types of games they watch. All
Mhm.
these killing games.
Yep.
My son used to think I was mean because I wouldn't let him watch Mortal Kombat and some of those popular games.
Mhm.
He thought I was the meanest mommy in the world, but that's all right. He turned
No.
out well.
That's right.
And there was a parent, there was a couple, and this was the mother and husband in the
Mhm.
home with this particular child.
Mhm.
You have to monitor who your children play with.
Yeah.
That's
Be
right.
aware of
That's true.
stuff. And I
That's
could
right.
see that this one little boy was going the wrong direction.
Mhm.
I said, this little boy's in myself, he's going to be in juvenile, but
Mhm.
young,
Mhm.
before he gets a teenager.
Mhm.
And so I said, well, instead of me just, let me go talk to his parents. Let me
Yeah.
introduce myself.
Yeah.
Soon as I talked to mommy and daddy, mommy had head problems, daddy had head problems.
Okay.
So my son couldn't
That's
play
it.
with that little boy anymore.
Yep.
You're the parent, not their friend.
Yeah.
Right.
You need to take authority.
That's right.
That's your household, your
That's-
child.
That's
Right.
right.
He said I told him he could not play with that little boy anymore, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And I kept him busy and involved in other things where he didn't miss
Mhm.
that time he was spending with that little boy. And I
Mhm.
kid you not, that little boy was in juvenile by the time he was 10.
Mhm.
And then he went to prison or some kind of
Mhm.
jail
Mhm.
after that.
Yep.
Because I could see the path he was going.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can bring in children and help steer them the
Mhm.
right way. But
Mhm.
when I saw that both mommy and daddy had head issues,
Yeah. Well, now you can do.
right?
Nothing you can do.
Because he's in the household and I'm a single parent
Yeah.
raising a son. That enough was
And that was
work.
a good call because it's all about the influences that you have around your
Exactly.
children. So that right there, he would have been able to influence your baby, unfortunately,
No, I
with
know.
the time being spent. So yeah, that was a good call as a parent. I just talked about that on Coffee and Conversation the other day.
Did you?
When you said speaking positivity to your
Yes.
kids, I talk about that in the morning. It's so much that comes
Mhm.
with parenting. There's no, they got books out here, but ain't no real book when it comes to parenting. But that
And
right
every
there,
child is different.
every child is different.
And every child, I believe, needs to have someone that they can talk to
Yeah,
about anything.
anything.
And that anything
Mhm.
might mean you have to end up doing like,
Yep.
Sometimes you just got to be quiet because they
Yeah.
can tell you
Mhm.
some stuff and it's like, oh my
Blow your mind.
goodness, blow your mind.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
they need somebody to talk to about
Yep.
it.
Right.
Yep.
Even if they end up saying some bad words
Mhm.
while they're getting it out, sometimes you have to listen because you don't know what they're going through in school.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
You don't know the other peers and how these kids are cruel. They were cruel when we were little,
Yes.
but
Mhm.
they even crueler
They
now.
worse now,
What's up with
yeah.
all this suicide? Kids commit
Yes.
suicide. What can your
Yes.
life be like that harsh? But
Mhm.
it is.
It is.
When I was teaching in the Detroit public schools, I wanted to take some of them kids home. Kids are squatting in places, and
Yeah.
it was just sad.
Yeah. It's a lot of children that are homeless.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, what are some of the tips and things that you would give to our listeners and tell parents that they need to do? You said like speaking positively to the children,
You
and
got to speak positivity to your babies. You got to talk to your babies. A lot of
Mhm.
times you get in the car, the parents turn the radio up, the kid
Mhm.
immediately get on the cell phone and it's no communication. I tell people, have conversations with your baby in the car.
Mhm.
Ask your baby how your day was going. See what's going on with them. You should be so in tune with your baby to where as soon as they get in the car, you should be able to ask them what happened to Cindy last week, the one that got in trouble because they
Right.
share stories. But we don't give, as you said, children need somebody to talk to. I just talked about that the other day on Coffee and Conversation.
We're gonna tune
About-
in to Coffee and
Yeah, you got
Conversations
to.
every
you got
is it
to. In
every
the
morning?
mornings. Or
Every
just go
morning
to the YouTube channel.
on YouTube.
Kenya, and hit subscribe, and every time I upload a video, you'll get a notification. But we just talked about that as far as allowing your children to be able to talk to you about anything. You know,
Mhm.
people say that, but when your child actually comes to you and talks to you about sex and talks to you about, you know, their mental health, or talks to
Mhm.
you about sexuality, you know, we tend to draw up and shy away. Don't nobody want to hear it. No, you know,
Right.
Mhm.
but they do. They need somebody, and even if it's not you,
Mhm.
even if it's not you, make sure that child has somebody to talk to. And that's really the main thing, because through that conversation other stuff will come out, you know,
Mhm.
that you need to tend to with your baby, or you will notice if something is off with your baby, if your baby needs this or the baby needs that. Focus more so on your baby's mental stability is important, and a lot of
Mhm.
us overlook that, you
And if
know.
you know your children are having sex, go get them some condoms.
Yes,
Go get them some birth control.
yes,
You not
yes.
you're the parent. You can see that. I
They be in
told my son the
denial.
first person he had sex with. He said, "How do you know?" I said, "Because I'm the parent.
Mm-hmm.
I've been where you've been.
Mm-hmm.
I already
Mm-hmm.
I could see.
Yeah. Yeah.
You better keep your parents need to keep their eyes open.
That's right. That's right. Pay
You can
attention
see
to your
stuff.
baby. You got to
That's
pay
right.
attention to your baby.
And the people that they're around.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the little girl was the type of girl that was gonna have some, drop it like it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it.
Mm-hmm. You can tell. You
Yeah,
can
and then
tell.
women, girls like guys that have potential. That ain't changed. Some
Right.
things haven't changed.
Right.
Right.
So I said, she looking at you as you got potential.
Mm-hmm.
That you come from a good family. That you don't
That's
have a
right.
dime in your pocket that don't belong to me. But that's not what she sees.
Right.
That's right. Right.
And then nowadays, the girls are super swift.
Mm-hmm.
They're very aggressive.
Very
Yes.
aggressive.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. You talk to the girls too?
I do. I
Yeah.
do. I do. And then another thing I would suggest to families, have family meetings. Me and my
Mhm.
children, when they were coming up, we would have meetings like every other month or so. And that was the time where they were able to. I always open the door to where they could talk to me about anything. But
Mhm.
sometimes they feel uncomfortable about saying certain things. But at that family meeting, that was like the only time you were able to express exactly how you
Mhm.
feel. Sometimes a little profanity come out, you know, they be angry, but whatever the case may be, that was a time for them to tell me how they felt about themselves, how they felt about the other people in the house, and how they felt about me, you know, as far as my parenting is concerned. You know, is there things that I need to brush up on? Is there anything that I'm lacking in? Anything I can help you with more? So the family meetings, I encourage any
Family
family
meetings are
have a
important.
family meeting, sit at the table and just everybody air out their differences, have a moderator at the table, and you just write it down if you have to, and just discuss and just talk. So that's one thing I
I
will
love that,
suggest
family meetings
to the parents.
That is
Right.
really good.
So with your siblings,
Mhm.
what was one of the first resources that you found that was helpful with your brothers?
Boysville.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I cannot think of the social worker's name at this time, and he has passed away. I found out, unfortunately. But he was the first person that kind of was hands on with me as far as trying to walk me through certain things I could do. And one thing he would allow is every time they had a meeting, and that's where I got the concept from with the attitude adjustment program with the family meeting. I kind of
Right.
everything I tried with him, I kind of put it together in this meeting. But he would allow me to bring the bad one, the one that misbehaved. We say we shouldn't call children
No.
bad. The children,
Right.
the one that misbehaved. He would let me bring them to the meetings that they had there with the young men that lived in his facility, and that helped a lot. It kept him good for a good 4 5 months solid.
Okay.
I can get a good 4 5 months with not having to run to the school, him getting excluded, me having to go upset his head or whatever I had to do to discipline him. It was just that helped a lot, and that gave him it just put everything back in perspective for him as far as what he should be doing at
Right.
home. But that helped a lot. Boysville was really the only.
Is Boysville still around?
I don't think so. Not that
Okay.
facility anyway. Now if they have another one, maybe. But the
But I
one
know we do have some youth
it
programs
is.
in
It's
the
a few.
city.
It's a few. It's a few. But at that time, it was real slim pickings.
How do
Have
you
you?
recommend people get involved? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do you have any to recommend to people, or should they contact you to go through your program and then you connect them with other if
I
they need a
do.
youth center?
I do. I do connect my usually refer out. Like I say, if I can't help them, like I take children at 12. So
Okay.
children under that, I usually refer them to the children's center. They have a wonderful program
So
there.
where's the children's center?
I don't have the address right
Okay,
offhand,
but
but it's
it's in the city?
downtown by the DMC, like off Woodward and St.
Oh, yes.
Antoine or somewhere around up in that area. It's over there. But if you Google the Children's Center, I usually refer parents there.
And they take children at various ages,
Yes,
young
yes,
ages.
younger than 12.
And I have my niece works in the hospital at DMC,
Oh,
and she works in the emergency,
okay.
and she works with the children.
Okay.
And she said, matter of fact, I'm trying to have her come on. I should have
Yeah.
had her come on tonight
You
with you.
should have.
But she said that the trauma cases that she gets, the youth,
Mm-hmm.
the mental challenges, the
Mhm.
home conditions,
Yes.
the way the parents act. She said,
Yes.
Michelle, you just wouldn't even believe it.
You
It's
wouldn't.
just
Because I didn't
Mhm.
until I started doing my program. And like I say, like the parents bring them in and they say it's the children. Oh yeah, we about to take them to the children. But when we get to that family meeting, it ain't the kid, baby. It's you. You the one that need the attitude adjustment. I let the parents know that if you don't want help, don't come here. Because people will say they want to do this just to say that they did something. Oh, I called and I did this, but no. If you really want help, we're going to help you when you come to this program because we dissect what's going on inside the house and I offer resources that's going to help the family as a whole, not just the child that's misbehaving.
What about the parents cussing out their kids? You can see them walking up and down the street or on the bus.
Oh my God.
And they just calling them everything but a child of God, fussing it. Let me say this as an older adult, yelling at your children does not really help them. The fussing and the yelling that we do, talk to them.
Yes. Yes.
Be calmer with them. Adults need to exercise patience.
Yes.
Just as people tune you out when they're older, they will tune you out when they're younger and just become adjusted to the spanking.
Yep.
Right.
And that's it.
That's it.
They don't really learn. They just become adjusted to the spanking.
That's it.
Or the yelling because they tuned you out.
Right.
And they may come back after you say, well, did you hear what I said?
And that's exactly how they are. That's how they are.
But you know, and a lot of times when you're parenting and going through it, you're thinking, I'm overwhelmed. Okay, well, find ways to not be overwhelmed.
That's right.
One thing, when you're a parent, you need to be the first mommies. You need to be the first one up in the morning to have your quiet time.
That's right. That's right.
And if that means getting up at 5, so be it.
That's right.
If that's going to bring peace to your household, the women that are married, one of the women I know that I send people to for counseling, she and her husband, she said when she would be asking the Lord to fix him, God showed her. And when he walks in that house from coming from work, she doesn't know what he's been through in that workplace.
Right.
And so it was for her to have the house calm, have the food done,
That's right.
have the kids sitting doing their homework or finished with their homework, either
That's
one,
right.
but have and let him come to them. And she said that changed the whole dynamic of their household. And now I think they've been married 36, 40 years, something where in between there.
Right.
And so that's important.
Right.
You know, keep the house clean, make some food. I say again, I don't care what man it is, unless he's the cook. Men want to smell some victuals cooking in the kitchen.
That's right. I think you've been watching Coffee and Conversation, Michelle, because I just did a video about, teaching what we need to be teaching our little young ladies. Because I don't run into so many young ladies to this day that are
well, he don't mind if I don't cook.
They don't clean.
They don't clean. They don't
listen
cook.
to that Cardi B. That's what they doing. They don't cook. They don't clean. Let me
but
tell
you
y'all,
ain't got Cardi B's money to hire a housekeeper.
That's right.
And if you need to get a housekeeper, get a housekeeper. But keep that house clean.
That's right.
Cook some food.
That's
well,
right.
he don't mind if I just make sandwiches. He's lying.
That's right. That's right.
Men, stop lying to these women, telling them that it's okay just to make sandwiches, and I don't mind if you don't cook, baby. Yes, you do.
That's
if
right.
he doesn't
and
mind,
he don't
he's
want
eating
to
somewhere else.
Exactly.
Amen.
And some woman is waiting to give him some chicken and some.
So you give him the snacks because sister, whoever over there is feeding him good.
That's right. That's right.
That's what my grandmother taught me.
Exactly.
See, that's
it's
what it
true.
is. Grandmothers, mothers is certain things they call it mother wit.
That's right.
See, we have to use those terms. And also when your children come into the room, my daughter comes into the room, I have to remember she didn't do anything. Whatever I'm thinking, she has no attachment to it. So I brighten my face up. Hey, baby, how you doing? First thing in the morning is hugs and morning kisses.
Yeah,
we've been doing this since she was a baby. So she kisses me on the forehead. But that's what we do, because if I had to learn how I start my day, she has to learn it too.
That's right. That's right. I love that. Morning hugs and kisses. That's so important. And giving hugs and kisses.
That's right.
A lot of people don't become affectionate because they don't know how to give hugs and kisses.
Right. That's right.
We spend more time trying to hug Bebe and Bobo and TT, and then we do our own children.
That's right.
Why don't
That's right.
we need to be hugging them and kissing them, showing
Mhm.
that pleasant face. Like you
Right.
said,
Mhm.
she doesn't know whatever's on your mind or the
Right.
stresses or whatever's concerned. So give her the hugs and the
Because
kisses.
she's
I
gonna
love that.
Right.
interpret whatever my and I was looking. It was an author. I can't remember who it was, older author, and
Mhm.
she said it. When you come in, you look at your baby. You're thinking whatever, and you might be thinking what a belt needs to be put. But that child is reading your face like,
Yep.
Mhm.
you don't like me. You're disappointed
Mhm.
in me. What
Yep.
did I do wrong?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
And so many children think their parents don't love them, and they
Mhm.
really do.
Right.
Yeah.
Parents, we need to show more affection. And you can even show affection because I got affection from both of my parents.
Yeah.
But I didn't think they loved me. I thought they just tolerated me.
Oh.
I did because I gave them. I thought it was a free country. I grew up in the time where it was Black Power. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'm a man. Say
Mhm.
what you want to say. And so I thought
Mhm. Mhm.
that I'm a human being,
Mm-hmm.
just like you're a human being.
Right.
So I have a right
Right.
to express my opinion.
Right.
I didn't. It was a dictatorship.
God.
You couldn't tell me, well, you can't go outside today because I said so.
Right.
Oh, I should have been a
Oh.
lawyer. I would argue that
Oh
down to
my
the, what
God.
do you mean?
Right.
What do you mean just because you said so? My homework is done,
Right.
my room is clean,
Right.
and I'd
Right.
go outside anyway.
Oh,
Oh,
you
I
was
gave them
bad,
I
Michelle.
told you I needed the
You
military
were
school. And I
bad.
crawled through the chute, go out the front door. We had milk chutes back in that time.
Oh my
And I would
God.
crawl through the milk chute, go out the front door. So if they fell asleep, I was bold enough to go out the door.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you were a
I was a
handful.
handful. Tell us about your book.
Yep. Well, my book is called Dysfunctional Family Not. You can go to lulupublishing.com and get you a copy. And it's just loosely about my life. It talks about the things that I went through growing up. It talks about my mother's addiction. It talks about molestation. It talks about a lot of issues
Shouldn't
within
you
the
show us a
black
copy of
family.
your book here on the
It's a little
screen?
tattered, guys, but that just shows
That's
you how my
okay.
life is. I've been through a lot,
But
but
it's
it's a good
called
read.
Dysfunctional Family
Family
Not.
Like a knot joke. And
Yeah.
it just talks about a lot of things that I dealt with growing up as a child. And it has journal entries to talk about the things that I was dealing with while I was writing the book. I was going
Okay.
through a divorce and just a lot of different issues. So a little glimpse of who I am. I would like for you guys to go to lulupublishing.com and get you a copy.
I'm going to put that on my Facebook page,
.com.
lulupublishing.com. And we thank you so much for coming today
Thank you for
and for
having
sharing some
me.
tips with our viewers and listeners
Yes.
about some parenting tips. And, it takes a village to raise a child. So we all
Yes.
have to help
That's
in this
right.
process with our youth.
That's
Again, we thank you for coming.
Thank
We
you.
have had Kenya
Mm-hmm.
Wardlaw
That's right.
today.
Yes.
Got it right.
This is a wonderful show.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
We'd love to have you come back
I
again.
will.
And we're going to be tuning in on your YouTube channel, Coffee and Conversations, guys,
Mhm.
every morning on YouTube, Coffee and Conversations, or
Mhm.
put in Shakenya.
Yep, just put in
Spell
Shakenya.
Shakenya real quick before we go.
SHAKENYA.
SHEK.
AKENYA.
You got that.
Got
All
that.
right. Thank you for tuning in to Community Updates right here on WJZZ Cool TV. We'll see you next week or next Wednesday.
Mhm.